Welcome to Low Carb Spin.
Hi, I'm Therese.
And I'm Karen. What are you doing?
Well, 'tis the season to be craving gingerbread. These guys get me in trouble every year, so we got to do something about it.
Well, that's why we created our Gingerbread Spice Bombs.
Yum. Well, I'm so excited, so we should get started with these.
Let's start with some Hemp Hearts.
All the dry ingredients are going to go right here into our little measuring cup.
And some vanilla protein isolate. Some Acacia Fiber. Let's do some collagen.
It's good for the skin, yes.
Pork rinds.
Just what I want to eat my muffins and start looking younger. Isn't that what everybody wants? The dream.
If you think that's gonna work out.
Okay.
Baking soda. Some baking powder.
Oops.
And some salt.
That is it. How easy is that for your dry ingredients?
On to our spice mixture.
Yes, we're going to start with the ginger. Can't have gingerbread man without ginger. Cinnamon.
Love that smell.
Exactly. Cloves. And our allspice. Nutmeg. Cardamom. Now, I have never used cardamom in anything, so this was a new spice for me.
I think it kind of tastes peppery to me.
Okay. Cocoa powder. Espresso powder, which I thought was unusual.
If you don't have espresso powder, you can use like crushed instant coffee granules, and it will give you that same flavor. Espresso is a little bit stronger of a flavor, and because we're not using a traditional molasses, what we're doing is mimicking molasses by adding the cocoa, the cardamom.
I love the molasses. Yes.
It's that rich flavor that we need to get.
So for the next part, you're going to have to use your mix master or your KitchenAid, whatever you have, or your hand blender to whip up these ingredients.
We're going to start off with some softened cream cheese, some soft butter,
not too melty,
some brown sugar substitute, and we use swerve in this recipe, and then some granulated monk fruit.
And we're gonna scrape the bottom a few times in between mixing.
So how long are we mixing that for?
I'm gonna say about 4 minutes, and you're gonna wanna stop it and scrape down the bowl in between. The reason is you wanna make sure that the granulated sugar gets all combined and it softens it. So our batter's looking good, nice and smooth, but I find the easiest way to tell is take a little on your finger, and if you taste the grains, then you know you've got to mix it a little bit more. If not, you're ready to go, and we are good to go. So we're going to go on to mixing the rest of the wet ingredients. Eggs first. We're going to put them in this little bowl also, or in the measurer, because it's easier to pour into the blender. So I would break those up a bit.
And some pumpkin puree. This was a surprise ingredient for me, but it really adds to the level of moisture for the muffin. It gives it that good crumb texture.
You'd think that it's gonna taste like pumpkin. That's what I would have thought. Oh, then how's it gonna taste like gingerbread? But it definitely makes it moist.
And then lastly, just a hint of apple cider vinegar.
Perfect. Give it a good mix. So before we add the rest of our ingredients to our mixer, this would be a good time to preheat your oven to 350. Now we're going to add our wet ingredients. Just put your mixer up to about halfway, 50%. So before we do the last part, Karen, why don't you come in here and let's get our molds ready for the batter.
We have this cute little mold pan and we're gonna spray it. So
I know they say you don't have to spray silicone, but I think just a tiny bit, especially, I mean, it would be horrible if you dump these over and the dome would be gone. So we're not taking any chances.
And I'm sure it has happened to me many, many times. So this is like insurance.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a lot, just a little. I think it's the perfect consistency.
Ooh, looks yummy.
It is yummy.
Yeah, very nice. We're gonna use a scooper because that's easiest. You know what I forgot to do?
What?
Grease the scooper. Let me get some grease here. Magically, we have some.
So make them a little bit heaping for this size scoop. That's what, almost a 2-inch scoop.
I don't know.
I love these. They're the best.
Okay, like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like a lot.
Yes. You don't want to over fill them too much because...
I'm gonna do it on this side.
Okay, yeah. Because you don't want them to bubble up too high over the top of the rim. Then I just kind of smooth them out.
Feels light and fluffy, that's for sure.
They are very moist. All right.
A little bit more in here. This one?
Just a titch.
If it's a titch too much, then that one's mine. There is a tiny little bit of batter left, but this makes the 12 spheres.
Basically 12 once in a while, and I think it depends on your eggs, because sometimes I've had a little bit bigger size eggs, even though they all say they're large or whatever, and I ended up with just a little bit more batter, so I made a few more muffins. No big deal.
Do you suggest like tapping down your pan
Sure.
or anything like that?
Be a good idea.
Just to make sure that they even flatten out. I mean, this is so thick and fluffy. I'm not sure I'm doing anything.
Yeah, but you could have air bubbles for sure.
We have the 350-degree temperature, but what's the timing?
I think exactly 20 minutes, but I would do 15. Check them. You'll see at the top, if they look a little bit like making moisture coming out at the top, like a few little crevices will come up. Bubbles, you want to let them be a little bit dry. And I do the toothpick test.
Toothpick test. There you go.
Comes out dry, we're ready to go.
Okay. Into the oven.
So next, Karen has a good frosting recipe for decorating our cute little bombs.
We're going to start out with, what is that?
Cream cheese.
Softened cream cheese. Don't
over.
let it
Just slightly.
sit out, whatever.
Okay.
And then we're going to go on to some butter. And then to that, we're going to be adding, this is half Boca Sweet and half powdered monk fruit. And it really works the best so we don't get the cooling effect. And Boca Sweet's kind of expensive, but if it's going to be on the outside of
It's the first
a baking
thing you're gonna
item,
taste.
it's the first thing, and I just don't like it if there's too much of that, cooling effect.
Definitely.
And then because we're going to use white icing, we use clear vanilla extract. So that's a good,
Definitely a good tip.
kind of tip.
I didn't even know it existed actually until we started baking, and I was like, oh,
Well,
you get clear ones?
it's clear, it's vanilla flavored, so it's not
Right.
the true extract, but
For some cases you need it though.
right, because you want, the white icing. So
Right.
we're just going to blend this together. I think that looks like a great creamy consistency.
Sounds good to me.
So let's take it out. Because we're going to make two different colors of frosting, we're going to split this batter. Oh, and it sounds like in the nick of time for our muffins to be checked.
Perfect.
Now these are just gonna have to cool. Those smell so yummy.
They do. Gets me right in the holiday spirit. Okay, so we're emptying half of this batter
into a bowl because we're going to color one half because we want the two different colors. We want the white, and with the white we're gonna we want to make a thin piping, so we're gonna thin it a little bit with some heavy whipping cream, but I want the flours to be stiffer, and we're gonna use some of this super red powder just to color it instead of using like a food coloring. So we have that, you know, that we could do.
Divide that.
Okay, I'm gonna divide it. Well, will you hold that?
I get another spatula. We'll work on it a bit.
I don't want to be too stingy. I need more for the flowers. Let's do that.
It wants to come off the beater.
That's okay. You can leave it on. It will be pink now. Okay, put that in there. I'm gonna add the super red powder. And you know what I think you can do also? Maybe you can take cranberries and use one of those microplane like zesters, and then you would get some of the red, but it would make the red juice. That might color it enough, because this isn't going to be red, it's going to be pink. Stir that up. And I think I'm just going to start off with a little bit of the heavy whipping cream to make this a little bit looser. Maybe like a half a tablespoon to start. We'll see.
And you just have to hand mix that in. You don't have to whip it again.
No. Let's see, here's our piping bag. If you put the piping bag over your hand, like the letter C, then you can always get all of your frosting way in there. Kind of want to go down to the end and eventually kind of twist it. You get it's ready to come out. Let that sit, and that's just going to continue to get soft, so it'll be nice and that good smooth consistency.
They're looking good.
But they're looking naked.
Yeah, that's the way the gingerbread men look until you dress them up.
There you go. There's no right or wrong way to decorate. If you can do a stick person, you can make a snowflake. Exactly. So we're just gonna go.
If I can make a snowflake, anyone can make a snowflake.
It's free for all. Let's just go for it. Another thing that we decided to use was some candies. Russell Stover makes some sugar-free, like a fake M&M. Honestly, you're really only going to be using like 2 M&Ms cut in half. So unless you absolutely cannot have sugar, it's not going to throw you overboard. As we pre-cut our M&Ms, you can use a knife and cut it in half, but I had a pill cutter.
I would have never thought of it.
We're going to use the pill cutter. Press it, get it all the way in there. And it makes
better
perfect little halves. And then we're just going to do this in between to make our
and it's such a little embellishment, like if you really can't have it. I mean, the frosting is sugar-free, so you can just take the candies off. Or you could tell the person who can't have sugar just to take the candies off. But these are sugar-free, so we shouldn't have a problem.
Wow, they do have some, maybe sketchy ingredients. And then we decided to go earthy. We're using the pumpkin seeds. And if you just pipe a little, we're gonna kind of make a acorn, kind of little acorn layering flower.
Looks very
underneath.
Winterish.
Well, we want to make it, as fancy as we can.
Not that hard.
No. I think we need, you know, to cue Christmas music, and it would just be, how much fun is this?
There you go. It's not perfect, but you know what?
Sliding off the plate there.
Every snowflake is different, so
exactly.
We're good to go. I like adding the colored frosting too, because of course brown and white is not exactly as festive as some things, but you know, that is the gingerbread color, so I think this one cheers up the plate. So at the top you just did a big squishy.
Just did a big squishy and swirly. I said there's no right or wrong.
Love it.
Get some other colored balls, or even I think these are all different colors in here. There's some blue in here. You can make it more wintry, or if you want to do something for Hanukkah, you could do that as well.
Yes. Also, the frosting is a little forgiving. You can remove it if you needed to a little bit.
And as Tree said, this frosting is very forgiving. Like that got a little too squiggly. I'm gonna take it off. Make some little balls at the end, put a ball in the center. It's just yummy frosting.
Well, this has been so much fun doing this decorating. I just love this part of the holidays. I think these look fabulous.
So much fun, and we wish you and your family a very happy holidays season. Thanks for watching.